Welcome everyone to episode 1 in Europa Universalis 4, but it is not episode 1 of the story of Britannia. That goes all the way back to the beginning of our Crusader Kings 3 playthrough in 1066. Now we're picking up that story right where we left off. Now I will say up front, it's been a long time since I've played EU4. I mean, we're talking a couple of years. So I'm going to be taking this kind of slow, and as always, I am going to be relying heavily on the expertise, the suggestions, the criticisms of those of you who are much more skilled in this game than I am. And I'll probably stumble along the way, but it's going to be fun to do so. So let's take a look here. The Green Hill Dynasty, which we carry over from CK3. A Britannic Emperor ruling from Aachen. So right now our capital's in Aachen, which is interesting because we have very little land in that region. So you can see there, here's our capital in Aachen. And it's really pretty much the only part of Germany we have. We also have Cleves right there, and that's about it. A little bit of territory over here. Of course, all of that is ours. Where else do we have land? Is this? That's not ours there. We do have some land in Africa right here. We have Sicily, except for one little piece of Sicily. We've got this area just south of Rome. We've got a little piece of the Italian boot here. We've got a little bit of land up here. So we're really kind of spread out. Some right there. Gallipoli, kind of ironic that we have that. Is this ours here? No, that's Anatolia. We've got this little piece of land here, Antioch. And yeah, we got a little bit over here. So like I said, really spread out. We got some land up there. That's not ours, is it? Sometimes it's hard to tell. So that's the situation. First thing we need to do is choose a few rivals. And it looks like France, I mean, we're actually getting along pretty well with France, but France does seem like a natural rival. They're significantly weaker than we are, as are most nations at this point. Greater Thessalonica, we could probably just march all over them right now. I mean, their army is 72% weaker than ours. I think that's probably all we need for now. I am a little concerned about the size of our army. 31,000 here, 32,000 here, and then scattered smaller amounts in other places. That seems like an awful lot of upkeep. I'm not entirely sure we can afford that. And then the Byzantine Empire, which is supposed to be allied with us, or at least was part of our same nation, but appears to be separate now. Well, it's in a personal union. So it's cool that they even implemented that in the game when bringing it through from CK3. So looking at the economy, even if I completely eliminated my army, I would still have a balance every month of negative 20 or negative 5 or so. So it's not going to be enough to just reduce the maintenance or eliminate some of my army, though 19 is coming from fort maintenance. And so right off the bat, I can see there's something I can do there. I'm going to mothball the forts. Most of the forts are these castles up here in England, in Wales. Looks like a couple up in Scotland, some in Ireland. Seems kind of pointless, so if I mothball all of those forts, I think that's going to make a dramatic difference. Well, it brought it down by 10, so that didn't do a whole lot. We're still at negative 19, so we've got a long way to go to get a balanced book sheet. I don't even know where to begin to gain that kind of money. We'll have to figure something out. Looking at the missions, looks like we have one already fulfilled, which is Discover India. It gains us 100 diplomatic power, 20 navy tradition. We get a claim on the West Bengal area. We've got an alliance offer from Lower Lorraine. Let's take a look. And that's right over in kind of our area here. That's not them, but I think they're right around here somewhere. We'll go ahead and accept it. And now the offer from Upper Lorraine. So this is Lower Lorraine right here. Upper Lorraine, I'm guessing, is probably right down here. No? Upper, yeah, down here. So these are the two regions that we are allying with. That makes a lot of sense given our precarious position over here in Aachen and Western Germany. I'm still really concerned about what I'm going to do about the financial situation. I don't see a way to fix that. It's only 14 now because we moved one of our merchants, so we're making 5 from trade. There might be some other places we can go with that. I'm looking at the value. Okay, English Channel and Lubeck is where we are right now. So what are we making from those? Actually, a lot of it's coming from that. Wonder if we could move him somewhere else and do a little better. Alright, I put my national focus on administrative power, so that bumps me up to a 9. It gives us a +2. You can see here that my heir, Bernard, is really highly skilled compared to what we have now with Werner. But not too bad, and he's got a strong claim, so that'll be nice when he does, in fact, inherit. I've got 3 diplomats, so at some point I probably should do something with those. Look for somebody I can maybe improve relations with, things like that. Row a marriage offer from Upper Lorraine. We'll go for that. I've reduced my army maintenance. Between that and the income from trade and production and taxation, we're now at only a negative balance of about 5.5, so that's a little better than it was. We still got to find ways to make some money, though. Alright, I was looking around at the map, trying to decide who might be a good option for an alliance, and the Papal State seems like a good place to start. So we're going to offer an alliance to the Papal State. We'll see if they indeed accept that. I expect that they probably will. We also have these free diplomats, so we should probably send to various regions. I'm going to see if I can't work on improving relations with the Polish, also with Norway. So we'll send 2 of our diplomats to work on that. We'll keep the 3rd one free just in case. I'm looking at the estates and as well as the crown land, and right now we've got a bit of a hit because of crown land that we don't own. So we should probably try and grab some of that. All estates will gain 5 influence and loyalty if we summon a diet to set an agenda. So I think we're going to probably do that, because all of them are dropping in loyalty right now. Alright, the Estates of Britannia have proposed agendas for the summoned diet. Diet, however you want to pronounce it, favoring one of the estates could have large benefits in the long term. The clergy request that we invest in the prosperity of their lands in Aachen. The nobility see Thrace as an integral part of Britannia and resent the fact that it is not entirely our own. They exhort us to secure the rest of the area for ourselves. The burghers request that we invest in the prosperity of the city of Zuwara. I think we're going to go with the clergy. I like investing in Aachen. So I guess that's going to make them a little happier than the others. Okay. The Papal State, your faithful ally, is requesting you come to their aid in the papal conquest of Zadar against Croatia. Oh boy. I guess we have to accept a great bullion famine. We often pay in gold to import silk. Blah, blah, blah. Well then. So in order to gain that prestige and loyalty from the clergy estate, we have to increase the base tax to at least 8 in Aachen. I don't know what it is right now, but I imagine that's not going to be particularly easy. We can improve it at 6 right now, so we can spend 43 administrative power to get it to 7. Do it again, get it to 8, and that should fulfill their desires there. Awesome. We gain 10 loyalty and 10 prestige. So if we can keep all of those estates happy, got clergy up to 61. Now we just got to work on nobility and the burghers. Clergy condemns a philosopher as heretic. Prominent natural philosophers forwarding new claims that contradict religious truths. Either way, we're going to lose stability. The question is, do we want to get a bonus to technology or missionary strength? And we could lose 10 loyalty to the clergy estate. Ugh, this is going to hurt our technology costs, but right now I want to gain that loyalty to the estate. That gives me some things that'll be helpful later. I have to spend a lot of my available points to boost my stability back up to 0. That kind of stinks. We also have an issue with separatists that are going to become a problem. Got to keep an eye on those. Well, we have a new pope, and we can become Defender of the Faith. It gives us a casus belli to enforce religious unity. It'll cost 500 gold. Yeah, not worth it. Historically, Henry VIII was actually named Defender of the Faith at one point by the Pope, which is really interesting when you know what comes later between Henry VIII and the Roman Catholic Church. Right now, with raising war taxes, we're actually sitting right about even on our balance sheet. We did have to take out a loan recently, but that's not a huge deal at the moment. We just got to keep an eye on inflation, make sure it doesn't go too high. We could raise war taxes again. Actually, I think we already are, so that doesn't really help. Oh, I turned it off. That was the problem. We can invest in new technology. Awesome. So diplomatic technology, we can go up to marketplace. Improves our trade range. Allows us to build marketplaces. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and build a marketplace. And I don't know, let's see, what's the trade power and what will it do for us? London seems to be the logical place to do that. So let's go ahead and start building one there. We'll see what the impact is before we decide to build any more. It's going to take 12 months. Alright, so I've sent one of my squadrons down here to pick up some troops. Because we're having a problem with Croatia occupying some of our territories in the east. Just got to remember how to do this. There we go. Attach the transport. And then just send this bad boy over here. And get our troops landed. Start taking back some of our territories. Alright, and then we took on the Croatian fleet in the Battle of the Ionian Sea. Looks like we took out 3 of his ships, didn't lose any of our own. Of course, we have 47 ships in that fleet. Rule Britannia, rule the waves. So we landed our troops here. Now we're going to retake this territory here, and then we'll have to go over and see what other territories we might be able to help out with the Papal State. We now have new military technology available. So let's go ahead and invest that. Military tactics, land morale increased. Nothing else at the moment. The Croatians, under Tomislav Draškovic, just marched in and kicked our butts. Pretty badly, actually. I should have sent a larger force than just that small army that I had in Africa. So I'm looking at the privileges that are available to be granted to the nobility. I'd really like to have nobility in the officer corps. It would reduce costs of the army by 25%, but that one's not available yet because we don't have army tradition of at least 30. So that's unfortunately just not where we are at the moment, but eventually we'll get to that place. So these other two aren't ones I really am interested in at the moment, at least for the nobility. Let's take a look at the burghers and see if there's anything there. The Navy, yeah, it doesn't really interest me, even though it's not available anyway. Clergy's already doing pretty good. So I think we're probably just going to sit tight with no privileges for the moment. Okay, looks like the war is over. Croatia is ceding Lika and a bunch of other territories to the Papal State. Doesn't look like we get anything from all of that, but we were just really there to help our allies. We didn't lose anything. So the Papal State earns some territory, becomes a more powerful ally, so I guess that's not a bad thing. I'm trying to decide whether or not it's worth it to invest in further marketplaces. I don't think it is right now. I think I'm going to have to drop the army maintenance a little bit more. Or maybe I don't want to drop the fleet maintenance, I don't think. We've got to try and get on the positive side again, though. My lord, one of your advisors has suggested selling off noble titles to anyone who can afford to pay. It would bring in lots of money and open a way for social advancement for the rich if we do. but it would devalue the idea of nobility and perhaps upset the existing aristocratic families. Nobility cannot be bought. We're going to lose 10 with the burghers, but we're going to gain 1 stability, which honestly to me is worth more than the 200 or so gold that we would get otherwise. Who can we convert to Catholic? It would take 555 months. 0.56, not worth it. That is, yeah, just not going to do that right now. We can invest in an upgrade in technology. You can see now all of our technologies are pretty far ahead in time, so there's going to be hits for a while, so we're not going to see another upgrade for some time. Where are we at financially, though, at this point? It's kind of my ongoing concern. We do have a positive balance. So we're headed in the right direction as we enter into 1449, 5 years into the game. Most importantly, we have that extra stability, which I think is going to be very helpful for us moving forward. We're at +1 now. Just looking through the ledger, trying to get a sense of where the world is. We do have the largest army in the world at nearly 70,000, so we could probably reduce the army and still be in pretty good shape and even kind of increase things for ourselves a little bit by having a little more money on our hands. We also have the largest navy in the world by almost double the next size down. So again, same kind of deal. Looking at the navies, looking at all the regiments we have here, all of our ships, and here's the income. I've just been looking at some different things here, and I'm really thinking that there's some things that I can do to improve without breaking the bank. Here's our development. We're off the charts development, so that's good. Techs, we're right up there with the best of the nations as far as techs go. We do have the highest income of any nation in the world right now. We also have a good amount of prestige. In fact, our income's significantly higher than anybody else. So you can imagine what our wealth could do if we didn't have such a large army to have to deal with. So I think I'm definitely going to reduce the size of the army significantly to get it down closer to what other people are doing. I can always add more back to the army if I need to. Here's the admin rating. We're the highest. Diplomacy rating, we're second highest only to Pisa. Military rating, we're a little lower, but that's okay. Not a huge deal there. Tech, we're about as high as anybody is at the moment. Alright, so I just put 12 of my infantry regiments into another army, which I am going to now disband. So that's going to reduce the size of that army. The Army of Ireland is over here in Aachen. They've got 26,000 men. I think I'm going to reduce that one as well, but maybe not by as much. Let's put a little bit of the cav into that. Maybe a little of the infantry too. They're suffering attrition anyway. Let's see what that does in terms of our income. Of course, we've got maintenance kind of down there low, but that gets us to 7.5 monthly. Robber barons. The burghers are concerned with great influence of the nobility in our state. So right now the burghers were already low. We don't want to bring them even lower. We must curb such excesses. Nobility is currently at 55. That would drop them to 40. The burghers would go up to 50. We don't want anybody to get too crazy low. And if we do this over here, the burghers are going to drop to 20. And that would be pretty brutal. All right, let's do it. Let's take a look at where that puts us in terms of the estates now. All right, nobility, 40%. Loyalty, burghers 50%, clergy 61. What can we do to bring these guys up a little bit? Governing capacity here. I don't want to lose any more crown land though. Yeah, we're just gonna have to sit tight for now. I'll tell you this though. Sale of titles would gain me almost 1,100 ducats, which would be huge in terms of what I could do to reinvest that. I would lose 10% of my crown estates. All estates would gain 10 loyalty. But if we go back and try to seize half of that later, we lose 20 loyalty. And rebels may rise up if any estate drops below 30 loyalty. So that's a major problem. Oh boy, that's awfully tempting though. But I'm going to hold off for now. I'm thinking about places that I can vassalize and try to use peaceful means by which to gain some territory. I'm looking at like Luxembourg, for example, and it looks like they would otherwise probably accept, but they're a free city, can't become subjects. You have to have a military alliance and a relation of at least plus 190. So we have to look at other options for that and reasons why they wouldn't do it. Being electors of the Holy Roman Empire pretty much rules out a lot of people, or if they have subjects of their own. So I'm going to look around and look for options, potential options for that. And then we can start using diplomacy to build up and make the alliances and do the things we need to make those things possible. Croatia is a good example of one that isn't far off from being able to do it. We need to build up our relations with them, obviously. Proclaiming a guarantee might be a good way to get that started. Eventually we could do a royal marriage. Oh, we have too many diplomatic relations. We got to be careful here. We'll send a improved relation diplomacy mission here. We have gained excommunicated ruler casus belli against Croatia. Their ruler has been excommunicated. Well, that kind of didn't work out so well. The second I started working on relations with them, he goes and gets excommunicated. So Aachen has a ridiculously high tax modifier already. So I'm going to build a church there. And we'll see if that is a nice way to invest and gain on our 7.61 current balance every month. All right, our current balance is plus 749. Let's see what completing the church does for that. I got it up to 776. So it doesn't seem like much, but over the course of a couple of hundred years, I think that'll make a difference. So zooming out, there's not a lot happening in the world right now. It's 1450, so we've gone through about 6 years of game time. We'll go through maybe a couple more. All right, nobles demand old rights. Nobility estate would gain 10 loyalty. Right now they're at 44. We would lose stability, so we'll lose some government reform progress, but I think that's probably something we're going to have to accept for now. Where are we at on the estates? 57% with the clergy, 53% with the nobility, 46% with the burghers. Got a while, I think, before any new technologies are going to happen. Boy, we're really poor on diplomatic power right now. We could get a +3 to that if we add this guy. But 15 monthly, that's crazy expensive, and don't think that's going to be worth it. Okay, royal marriage with Croatia. We're getting closer. We're still 26 away from the place where they would accept vassalization. I'm not entirely sure we can get there. Obviously, if we offer an alliance, that'll change things. 1450 has been a particularly good year for Britannia due to good harvests. Put it in the treasury, invest the money. Treasury it is. That's going to give us enough to pay off our loan. Which means we're not paying interest anymore. And now we've got a balance of plus 941. Nice to be positive financially. Good life tip right there, folks. Okay, we've now got a military alliance with Croatia that did not improve things in terms of vassalization. The main thing is the economic base compared to Croatia's is such a difference. That's what's hurting us. I'm not sure we can get past that. That might have all been for nothing. All right, we're about to complete a marketplace in York and a church in Hampshire. Let's see how that impacts our financial situation. It's nice to have that income and be able to spend those things. Didn't make a big difference there with the marketplace. At least not right away. Not sure if the church will do anything or not. We can recall our diplomat from Croatia. That's maxed out. The church really helped. All right, where are we at on Croatia now? I'm guessing we're just not going to get there with vassalization. Yeah, we've actually lost some ground with them, so yeah, we'll just leave everything as is for now. So we're, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes into this episode in terms of the clips that I've recorded. It's about 8 years of game time. I'm going to wrap it up right there. And normally I would probably make this a little longer, but I really want to get you guys feedback on all of this before I get too far into the game. So I want to hear your suggestions, your tips, the things that you're seeing that I should be doing. Those of you that are much more skilled in this game and have a lot more experience in it, let me know in the comment section below. That way we can get off on the right foot. I know the Age of Exploration is going to be coming before too long, so I'm excited about that. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit that like button if you would, and we'll be back again in a couple of days with another episode. Thanks for watching.